Well, thank you, Rick, and thank you to our members that have logged in to watch this webinar live. We appreciate that. Wanted to at least talk to you a little bit real quick about community energy advisors. So why did the Wooster Chamber, why are we partnering with them? One thing that we've noticed in the last couple of years is we have concentrated on finding programs and finding partners that can bring value to our members through money-saving opportunities and through just efficiencies within their business. This is probably the last partnership we put together because quite candidly, when we talk about energy consultants and brokers, if you're a business, you've been contacted by a number of them. And from our experience, because we've even shopped our utility utilization from electric to natural gas, some are not the most reputable, and Rick and his team at Community Energy Advisors, not only have we vetted them, but they are a partner of NOAC, which is the Northeast Ohio Area Chamber of Commerce executives and group, and they're a very reputable company, very honest and straightforward, and have worked with a number of our members now to get no obligation quotes, which I know Rick will talk about. And really it has simplified the process to look at opportunities that you have within your business to save on your electric and natural gas. So that's why we are promoting this. This is the first of a number of marketing efforts we will have over the next couple of months, because we see this as an opportunity for our members to take control of their energy cost and partner with somebody who is reputable and will be by your side, not only today, but tomorrow as well. So with that, I just appreciate you being on the call today. Hopefully the session is informative. Afterwards, if you have questions specifically for the Chamber, feel free to reach out to our team, myself, Samara Zimmerly, or Katie Foster, who is covering this program as well, and we'll answer any questions you have. So without further ado, I get to kick it over to my good friend and our close partner, Rick Davidson, who's going to cover the presentation today. Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Justin. I appreciate it. So as Justin mentioned, my name is Rick Davidson. I started Community Energy Advisors with my partner, and we really focused on the affinity world, and that's really what we wanted to be in. And we wanted to create a program for affinity type programs. And so we partnered up with NOAC as well as SACA, which really covers the entire state of Ohio. And we really want to focus on three key components: education, protection, and savings. And really the first two are probably the most important, because we continue to see folks getting caught up in the situations where it's bait and switch, or they're in contract language that ultimately costs them more money than what it should. We're saving members 15 to 20%, but we're seeing members paying 2 to 3 times more than they should. And so if at the very end of this, please, if you take anything away from what I say today, go pull your bill, take a look at your rate and see what you're paying, because in many cases, the market changes so much and you may be in a situation where you can save money. Currently today, we are actively participating in over 90 chambers of commerce. So we cover really the state of Ohio, and we really wanted to create that trusted program. We wanted to create an opportunity for chamber members to work with somebody that they can trust, that has been vetted, because many of you continue to get phone calls every day about one thing or another. I can save you money. We can have these special rebate programs, or all these different things that are happening. You're getting calls all the time. That leads me into really these too good to be true offers. So this rebate offer, I actually just got a call yesterday, and ultimately what's happening is they're either apologizing on behalf of the utility company, or it's an automated call that states that your supplier has been overcharging you and you're eligible for a rebate. And if you press 1, you can obtain your rebate. So I went ahead and pressed 1, and then it transfers to a call center overseas, and I'm trying to talk to this person, and the person hung up on me. So then I tried to call them back, and you can't call them back. So these are things that people are getting caught up all the time. About a month ago, we received a letter from the PUCO trying to figure out who's doing it. So they reached out to all the brokers and suppliers and said, look, if you're the one doing this, we're going to find out. You need to stop right away. The PUCO is trying to do everything they can to protect you. The problem is, as soon as one goes away, a new one will start. Multi-level marketing. Again, these things are happening all the time, where folks are signing up with a friend, a brother-in-law, somebody that is now selling energy that may not have the experience to sell the energy. And they're getting caught up in a situation where they're paying more money than they should. Many companies that we see that are multi-level marketing, they start higher than the market and they continue to creep up, and they're not contacting you at the end of your term because they wanted to renew to a higher rate. So you really want to be careful when you get involved in these multi-level marketing situations of suppliers. Introductory or variable prices. We continue to see these bait and switch situations where almost every day we get bills in that somebody's paying 3 to 4 times the market. And honestly, they have no idea. It's become the new normal. Many businesses have done extremely well before COVID, and so they really weren't paying attention to their bills. It was kind of cost of doing business, and business is doing well. They're expanding, so my energy cost must be going up. But in reality, in many cases, it's because the rate is creeped up, because they got a call where they can get a rate of 3 cents. And ultimately, that's a variable rate that the next month it changes. And month over month, over the next 6 to 8 months, that rate now is 12, 13, 14 cents. We just got a letter actually to community energy advisors saying that we can sign up for a 2.5 cent rate for 1 month, and then it goes variable, and they don't tell you what that rate is. So you have to be very careful and cautious when you get caught up in those situations, because by the time you get out of that, it's going to take you 60 to 90 days to get out of that and get into a new rate. So you want to be very careful. This next slide is really some of the active scams and frauds that's going on today. So the power shutoff scams continue to happen. They're targeting restaurants, and now they're targeting seniors. So I'll start with the seniors. So if you know anybody that is elderly, living at home, they're targeting them, telling them that unless they pay by a prepaid credit card, they're going to shut off their power. So make sure you let them know that that is a scam. Do not fall for it. But we have restaurants that are now open that are starting to get these calls again, and they're robocalls, and they hit them during busy times. And especially with COVID now, there are many restaurants that are paying their bills a little bit later, or maybe even have disconnection notices, and they start second guessing themselves, thinking, well, maybe I didn't pay that bill. Maybe it's sitting at my desk at home, and they are really going to come and turn off my power. There's a 1-800 number on your bill. Call the utility. The utility company will not just come and shut off your power, and they surely do not want you to pay by a prepaid credit card. So that's really the kicker. So when the very end, when they say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it, they say, but you need to go across the street to get a prepaid credit card. That's the signal to absolutely call the authorities, let them know that you got this. You can also complain to the PUCO, let them know that you received this, and try to track the number, because they give you a 1-800 number to call them back to give them the prepaid credit card information. So please make sure that you have a copy of your bill. That leads me into, just put a folder together. If you sign a supply agreement, put that supply agreement in your folder, put a copy of your bills in that folder so it's really easy to get to. If you have any questions at all, we are a free resource to you for all questions regarding energy. So if you get a call like that, please feel free to give us a call, send us an email, let us help you navigate through that, so it takes the burden off of you. There is another situation where 2 gentlemen are coming to your place of business. They're dressed like the utility, and they want to get a copy of your bill to make sure that the meter number on the bill matches the meter outside. Most meters are outside of the building, so it seems legitimate. The admin person grabs a copy of the bill. They walk the person outside. The person looks at the bill, looks at the meter number, and says, yep, everything matches up. We're good to go. They walk back in, but while they're out there, that other person stays inside and starts robbing you. So they're taking laptops, cash, whatever they can get, and those type of situations. Again, the utility company has all your information. They could easily look at your meter, but again, those are things that are happening. So you want to be careful. Email demands immediate payment. Same thing as the power shutoff scams with the phone, but it's coming through email. And then there's equipment charge scams that are happening where they're saying that they're changing out your equipment and they want to charge you. So these are all things as a resource. You want to call your utility company if you have questions, 1-800 number, or call us and let us help you with that because these are things that continue to happen. And AEP, First Energy, they all post different scams and frauds that are going on as well that you can log in and see what's happening out there. But we don't want you being experts. You can absolutely call us and we can help you navigate through this. This next situation is really probably one of the most disturbing as far as folks that are taking advantage of you as a business owner. So I would encourage you that if you are shopping for power, make sure you work with somebody you trust. Make sure that you really understand who that company is. Have they been vetted? Or are they somebody that's just operating out of their garage and they're robocalling you? This particular catering company about a month ago reached out to us and said, is there any way you can help us? They use about 220,000 kilowatt hours of power. And their rate was 5.675 per kilowatt hour. So at that time, they got a call from their broker, and the broker said, the market's skyrocketing. You need to renew right away. But the good news is we're going to be able to save you some money. Fortunately, they were able to save them money. The problem is the market was about 5 cents at the time. So this particular customer ended up spending $1,700 more than they should have, and they signed a 3-year agreement. And during these times with COVID, these folks really needed the money, and now they're in a situation where they have a 3-year agreement, and the cancel fees are very expensive to get out of. So again, it really is working with somebody you can trust. Let them review it. We surely want to have the opportunity to review your bills. It really is a free service. You send in your bills, we evaluate them, we let you know what the opportunities are out there and how much you can save. And if you're in a good rate, we're going to tell you to stay in that rate for the rest of your contract, and then we'll review it when your contract ends. So again, work with somebody you can trust. So this is really the flyer that Justin can send out to everybody and Katie. And this flyer helps you understand who we work with and how we work with them. So we work with residential customers. We work with home-based businesses. We work with your employees. So through this program, as long as you're a chamber member, we can help your employees as well at their home. Small businesses, we surely can help all the small businesses. And if you're a restaurant owner and you use natural gas in the cooking process, you can actually reduce your sales tax by that percentage on your natural gas bill. So if you haven't done that, that is a huge opportunity. And for some restaurants, that could be $700 to $1,000 that you can reduce your sales tax by that percentage. If you're a manufacturer, same thing. So if you use natural gas in the process of manufacturing, you can reduce your sales tax. So for example, there was a t-shirt manufacturer that screen prints on the shirts and then they flash it with heat from natural gas, and that was 70% of their use of natural gas. The other 30% was to heat the building. They were able to reduce their sales tax by that 70% because it was used as part of the process. We are at 10-year lows or close to 10-year lows in electricity, close to 20-year lows in natural gas. But I can tell you that the market is going up, and we are seeing natural gas futures starting to increase. we have a hot summer right now, and a lot of our generation is created by natural gas. And so that ultimately can impact the cost of electricity as well. So if you haven't looked at your utility bills in a while, now is a great time to take a look at your utility bill, send it into us. We can evaluate it. We can let you know what the various options are and what the various terms are for you to ultimately save money. Because you really don't want to wait for your contract to end. So when we talk about working with somebody you can trust, when you sign a contract and it's a 2-year agreement, you don't want to wait for 2 years to renew that contract when it ends. You want to work with somebody that's looking at the market each day, each month to identify opportunities to help you lower your costs or maintain your price today. So example, if you have a 3-year agreement and your contract ends a year from now, you can start looking today and you can renew your contract right now, capture the low price in the market. It won't start for another year, but you can do it right now. So again, these are things that you want to work with somebody that's not just waiting for your contract to end. We talk about employees, friends, and family. Again, as long as you're a chamber member, your employees, as long as they fill out this form, and on the back of it's an inquiry form, and I can share with you here in a couple slides how to fill it out. They fill it out. It has the Wooster Chamber information on it, and then we'll reach directly out to that employee, and we'll talk to them about what the opportunities are for them to save. This next slide is just a kind of a snapshot of different different savings opportunities. So a funeral home saved $1,500 on their electric and natural gas. A nonprofit center in Olmsted saved $1,000. Commercial building, $340. We had a bar restaurant saved $2,500. Small manufacturer saved $1,800. So these are just different examples. Really, anybody that pays the utility bill to a utility company, AEP, First Energy, Dayton, or Duke, and as far as natural gas, Columbia Gas, Dominion, you can participate in this program, and we can help you get potentially lower rates than what you're paying today. Again, at the very end of this, there's a resident that saved almost $1,200. If we can save a residential customer $1,200, to me, that's crazy. They've been paying more money than they should, but again, they got caught up into a bait and switch situation where they were paying a much higher rate than what the market was. And so, again, they just didn't realize it until we got involved. And so this is the example. So they were paying almost 10 cents for their electricity, and the market was 5.2 cents. So that was a $1,233 savings for their home-based business. We saved Greater Ashtabula. They ended up going to a month-to-month product where they had a contract and then it rolled to a month-to-month, and folks changed hands and nobody was paying attention to it. In your line of business, if you have other employees handling your energy costs, make sure that you have a file someplace where if a new employee comes or as an owner you need to take over, you have all that information, because so many times we see that the owners have no idea that they're even in a contract. They have no idea where their contract is. And that employee signed up 3 years ago, and then they switched jobs and they went somewhere else. And now this contract is just rolling month to month and they have no idea. So make sure you create a file, make sure you have all that information. But again, as part of the program, we manage all of that for you. So once you sign up with us, we're reaching out to you on a regular basis. When we sign you up, we will reach out 90 days after we sign you up to verify that the rate that we got you or negotiated for you is actually on your bill. Then thereafter, we're reaching out to you after a year to make sure that we're just doing a spot check on your bill, but we're also trying to educate you on a variety of things. And one is just as you pay your bill, get used to circling your rate. If you're paying it online, many folks just see the total amount. They don't pull up a picture of the bill. Get used to just taking a couple minutes, pull up the picture of the bill, look at the rate that you're paying, and just make sure that that's the rate that you negotiated or that we negotiated on your behalf. This next example is just another Chamber of Commerce that we helped, 6 cents they were paying, and we got them a rate of 4.65 cents for 24 months. It's not a lot of money per year. It's $95 per year, but it's a 23% rate reduction. And so it's all relative based on your usage. And there's a lot of folks that are small users that are saving $500, $600 per year, and that's real money that they can put into their household and feed their family or pay for a small vacation. So again, make sure that you're paying attention to the cost of your energy. This government building in Little Miami, they had a rate of 5 cents. We were able to get them a rate of 4.67 cents. It's only a 7% rate reduction, but it's almost $1,500 per year. So it adds up very quickly. And these are things, as the market's changing, you want to work with somebody that's paying attention to what the market's doing to help you take advantage of those opportunities. This is the inquiry form that you or your employees would fill out. We try to make it real simple. The affiliation should have the Wooster Chamber already printed on there. You fill out your name, the company, your phone, and you can either email it to us, you can fax it to us, or you can snail mail it to us. And what we need is a copy of a recent electric or natural gas bill and this inquiry form, and then we'll contact you within 24 hours and let you know how much you can save. I want to go back to a slide because I want to play something for you. Many folks, when they're working with somebody, they're getting a lot of calls that make it seem like they're part of the Chamber Energy program. And I'm going to play you a clip from a call that one of the executive directors received. And the call makes it sound like they have all their information, that they're just calling to renew them. So the reason why I want you to hear that is because when you have a copy of your agreement, when you have all that information, you're the only one that has that information besides us and your supplier. You're getting robocalls where they're saying that your information is up for renewal and they have your information. They actually don't have it, but they make it sound like they do have it. So I'm going to go back here and play this. I'm going to turn up my volume.
Yes, this is Laura Adams, and I'm calling in reference to the supply charges on your electric account. I was just looking at the records. You had enrolled in a customer choice program for a reduced supply rate, and unfortunately, that's coming to an end, which could increase the cost. You can give me a call back at 513-506-7939, and your record ID number to refer to when you call back is E018-8278. Again, that's E as in Edward, 018-8278. Thank you.
So this is an example of folks calling you as a business owner and making it sound like they have all your information, that they know when your contract ends. They have no idea when your contract ends unless they're the supplier or they're your broker or they're somebody internally with you guys. They would not know that information. But what they want is they want you to send in a copy of your recent bills, and then they're going to enroll you in a program. And many times they're not checking to make sure that you're with a supplier. So if you're with a supplier, you want to make sure that you do not sign up with a new supply agreement until your current contract ends. You can sign up today, but it can't start until your current contract ends, or you could be liable for early termination fees. So when we work with you, we will make sure that if you're with a supplier today, we'll find out when your contract ends, and then we'll sign you up at the end of that contract to ensure that you're not getting any penalties or fees for early termination. So the final slide here is really about the friends and family. So again, I talked a little bit about the elderly folks being targeted for the scam of the power shutoffs. If you know of any folks that are living by themselves, please reach out to them because they're definitely vulnerable. If you have other business owners, if you're a restaurant and you get calls during busy times and they're saying they're shutting your power off, it is absolutely a scam because we're seeing that most of the time it's restaurants that are getting caught up into this. Make sure you tell your employees as well. So I'm going to turn it back over to Justin. This is really the presentation, and we can open it up for questions and answers. And I'll also look at the different chat, and you can send a chat as well.
Rick, good presentation. Thank you. Very informative. And the last couple of slides again, just the video you played or the sound clip. Yeah, there is, some not reputable brokers out there or assumed brokers that are trying to get your information. So again, this is a great way for us to bring a value add to our members working with you, Rick, and your team. A couple of members have asked, hey, I'm a tenant of a building. How could I get a quote if I'm just a tenant? Do I work with the owner of the building? How would that work, Rick?
Yeah, so in many cases, the tenant may pay utility bills. So if they're paying utility bills themselves, we can absolutely help them save money. And in most cases, that's really how most owners or landlords work, is they want the tenant to pay. In some cases, that landlord may base it on square footage and they divvy out a bill that they make themselves. At that point, we'd want to be introduced to the owner of the building to then help the actual owner see if we can reduce the cost for all the tenants. But okay. If they're paying the bill, we can help them save money.
Okay, perfect. And would your quote have to be within their lease term?
Yeah, so that's a great point. So we always have that conversation around how long is your lease, because we want to make sure that if they are planning on leaving after a year or unsure, there's a variety of different terms that they can sign up for. It doesn't have to be a 24 or 36. It could be a 6-month or a 12-month. In many cases, we work with Dairy Queens and Dunkin' Donuts that they may have acquired a facility that they don't like the location and they want to move across the street. We may do a short-term agreement on one side for a 6-month or a 12-month, and then when they move into the new building, then we'll roll it into a longer-term agreement.
Okay. And then maybe you're in business, so there's been a couple of questions. Okay, so how does CEA, how do they make their money? Maybe you can just talk about that and be transparent. Sure. I know you are.
Yep, that's a great question. So we end up a lot like your insurance. Is probably the best way to explain it. So when you get a new car, you call your insurance agent, and that insurance agent tells you your cost is $1,000. Within that $1,000 from State Farm, that insurance agent gets a commission from State Farm. We get a commission from the suppliers that we work with. So we work with about 25 different suppliers. We're not aligned with any one supplier. And our typical charge is 4 mils. And so that payment is built into your rate. So if you were at a rate of 5.6 cents and we get you a rate of 5 cents, that rate of 5 cents already has our commission. So you receive the savings between the 5.6 and the 5 cents. You continue to pay your utility company. You just see a rate of 5 cents now versus 5.6. And then the supplier pays us our commission inside that 5 cents. Did that answer the question, Justin?
Yep, it surely did. And then I had a couple private questions to me real quick, Rick, and we might as well cover these live.
Sure.
So process, people like to know, again, and I like that there's really no obligation, right? You can get a quote from your team. And I know you covered part of that, but the time frame, they can do it any time of the year. There's no renewal first of the year, a fiscal year, and then associated time frames with that. Just if I give you the information, when do you realistically think I'd get a quote back and could proceed with changing something?
Sure. So typically when we get bills in, we respond within 24 hours. If you're with a supplier today and you have all your contract information, we can get you a quote fairly quickly within 24 to 48 hours. If you're a bigger user, that could take 3 to 5 days, because what happens is the suppliers want to review a lot more of your information internally. So we create a customized RFP. We send it out to all the suppliers. There's a lot more questions. That process takes a little bit longer. But the average customer, it's about a 3-day turnaround, because by the time we get all the information, if they don't have the information, we reach out to the suppliers on their behalf and get the contract terms. And so it's about a 3-day turnaround. Once they sign up, depending on when their contract starts, so if, let's say their contract is up today and we sign them up today, it takes 45 to 60 days for them to see it on their bill. If their contract ends a year from now and we sign them up today, they're not going to, they'll actually start a year from now. So on their January bill, they'll see their rate a year from now with that new rate on it. So it typically, for the average customer, it's a pretty smooth process. We do a lot of the work behind the scenes, so the burden is off the customer. And if we need to reach out to your suppliers, we'll have you sign a letter of authorization that allows us to reach out to the suppliers on the customer's behalf, so there's no burden there. But in many cases, through our education, we are seeing more folks that have a copy of their contracts that then can send us, and then it goes much quicker.
Okay, perfect. So if I am locked in, as an example, to the end of the year, you could give me futures starting in 2021?
Correct. Yeah, we can give you futures going out 3 years right now.
Okay, perfect. And then I had a question. Can you get a better price than listed on, basically an apples to apple comparison published on the Ohio PUCO site?
That's a great question, and we get that question a lot. So there are many suppliers on the apples to apples that we do not work with. I can tell you AEP has a retail arm, very reputable. We work with AEP retail a lot. There are many suppliers on there that have contract language that can hurt you, that have a lot of pass-through costs, or things that from your renewal perspective, if you don't provide 90-day written notice at the term end date, you'll automatically be renewed from a fixed price to a variable price for 1 year, and there's high cancellation fees to get out of it. So when we're comparing to the apples to apples, it's very hard to say, because some of these folks come out with that bait and switch that I talked about, where it's that low price for the 1 month, but it's variable, and then it creeps up, and we don't know what that looks like. But I can tell you that we work with the most reputable suppliers, and ultimately we have them compete for your business. So we are getting you the best price in the market with the most reputable suppliers.
Excellent. And Rick, I think that covers, let me check the phone. Yes, that covers on my end all of the questions, and I think you did a great job. Is there anybody else that has questions? Put it in the chat now. If not, Rick, if you have any closing remarks, but.
Yeah, I appreciate the time. And again, if you take anything away from this, get a copy of your bill, send it in to us. Let us take a quick peek. Get used to seeing where your rate is on your bill. If you don't know, ask us. You can give us a call, or you can just email us your bill. We'll circle it for you and send it back so you can see exactly where that rate is, because that really is an opportunity for you to make sure that you're managing your energy costs, especially during these tough times.
And lastly, again, this is our first piece of really trying to do a concentrated marketing effort. I think what will be nice is over the next couple months is can you hear me, Rick?
Yeah, yep.
The local testimonials of companies that have already partnered with CEA. So we're excited about our partnership, Rick, and hopefully some of the members here either listening live or watching on YouTube. So.
Excellent. Everybody have a great day and a great rest of your week. Thank you.
Thanks for joining.